Right, so good afternoon, and currently on the summit of Helfa Las, I think it's pronounced, and just spinning around, show you what I'm looking at here. Absolutely beautiful. The Nant y Moch reservoir. Parked the car down there. I've done my bit up here because there's a few people in the car park, so I thought I'd get up to the top of this one, just taking the views of the lake. But yeah, I'm in mid-Wales, first time in this area, so the information is going to be a bit sketchy. Stunning. Right, I'm going to find my way down here then, and yeah, well, this is brilliant. Let's go. I'm going to try and get my way up this grassy mound. Okay, so back on the tarmac then, and the idea is to follow this road around the side of the reservoir, and then we're going to pick up a valley. So you can see up there then, I think the one on the right hand side is the main summit of this range. So yeah, that would be the highest point today. So the idea is to walk right to the end of this reservoir, up a valley, and pick up the far northern northeast end of the ridge near a lake, which I can't remember the name of again, and then head back across. But I'm sure it will become clearer as we get further in. The peak I was on right at the start there, overlooking the reservoir, and what a gorgeous day for it. A little bit of wind, just keeping this heat off. It's about 19, I think, temperature wise. Yeah, beautiful. Didn't need much packing for this at all. I've got a jumper for later and a coat just in case. I don't think so somehow. As you can see where I come from, there's a fair bit of road walking, so I haven't done much to the camera. But yeah, the views from this road are pretty good. But I can imagine that's only going to get better as we get higher up into these hills. As you can see, I've left the reservoir behind now, and I'm walking into this valley as the wind picks up again. Just engulfed by mountains now, surrounded, getting closing in almost. It's a strange feeling after being on such a wide open area. But there's the view back, and we can still see that peak I was on at the start. So there we go, that'll be the valley I'll be heading up into. So this is where the route branches off. That way goes and heads all the way to Machynlleth, and this way is the way I'm taking. I believe that path there, which is pretty indistinct, goes up into the coombe up there. So I'm going to head across here and then make my way along the river. Wow, so I've reached the river then. My route goes along this, I think on this side. So I'm probably going to get the trousers on just because of the long grass. Yeah, beautiful. There's whole bridges in this area. What a stunning place. Yeah, I think trousers on. Head through the grass there. There's a little glade of trees. Wow. What an area that'd be to camp. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, the path actually is quite distinct at the moment. Not sure whether that will change or not. Parts of this have been very boggy already, but yeah, it seems to be a little bit better now. So second walk in a row, we've had quite a boggy sort of start. But yeah, the mountains are all surrounding us now, and this river is absolutely stunning. Hello sheep. Okay, so I've crossed the river. That path on the other side, you can call it that, just kept turning into a bog. knew there was one higher up on this side. It might not mean we spend so much time close to the river, but I'll be able to start moving. It was really, really slow going through that. And I'll just show you what I'm walking into now, because things have got pretty spectacular. Just an absolutely stunning valley. Well, for the second hike in a row, I can quite safely say I'm glad I didn't descend this way. It's okay at the start when you're full of energy. Towards the end you want a nice, easy to follow path down. And I think I'm not going to jinx it. Well, I probably am going to jinx it, but I think I've done the hard part, because this looks pretty easy to follow now and we're well above the boggy terrain. So glad it was dry. Yeah, definitely want to do in the dry. The views though, now I've got up here, wow, that's where I've come from. There's the glade I was in probably only 20 minutes ago or so. They really made good time. Just gonna head round up here, and it looks like we're working our way up towards the tops now. Oh, so from here we're going to skirt the side of this hill and get as high as we can on there, and then across onto those hills up there, and that is going to be my route back. Oh guys, still heading up the valley. However, the fauna has changed somewhat to these ferns, which is makes a nice change from the sort of moorland bog that I've had most of the way. Now, yeah, I'm probably about 6 miles in, something like that, which I've done in about just over 2 hours, I think. Might not be quite that far in, I might be overestimating. But yeah, since I turned away from the valley down there and up into this higher one, I've had good paths really. Yeah, so nothing to slow me down now, I hope. Well, this little section just sort of came out of nowhere. It's almost chalky. Yeah. So far it's been really mundane sort of moorland walking. And this is well, I think I'm too long luckily. But yeah, nice steep little section there. Oh, it's very hot. I don't know if I mentioned it. I'm looking for a track any minute that splits off to the right. I can see one of the posts over there, so it's got to be fairly soon, and then that'll take me up onto the hills. Just looking for this track now. We're at the sort of furthest point now before we start heading back towards the car, and that'll be all along the peaks and in a bit more familiar terrain. Just got to find this cut-off. So there's a post just sticking up there through the grass, and I'll have them as sort of way markers now once I get onto this section. Turn for it should be just up here. Right, so I'm not 100% sure if this is the exact route, but it is a route and it's heading where I want to go. So yeah, coming across there, there's multiple tracks. Yeah, I couldn't quite find the one that's on these maps, but I've sort of just learnt to go with it a little bit now. I know where I want to go. It's going to be tough either way, so just go for it. So it looks like it won't be long till I'm out of this heather and on sort of more of a grassy hillside. I'm heading straight for the top of that. How beautiful. Somewhere well and truly here in the mountains, and it's stunning. Not too far from the top of this now. Oh, it's been tough. Yeah, it's really tough ground. Well, I can see the first summit, and that is a hell of a relief. This one is Carn Fawr, which I think means big cairn. So the actual summit of this hill is just over there, but we're going to walk up to this cairn and well, just have a rest, because that was one of the most grueling approaches I've had. So yeah, I think the summit's just inland a little bit. But yeah, this is what's on the map as Carn Fawr. Yeah, the vast moorland I'm on again. Beautiful. And that's the way I'm heading. Okay then, a little bit of a rest here. I'm heading that way over those peaks towards the highest one, which is Pumlumon Fawr, Pen Plumlumon Fawr. I think I've got to head up there to make the ridge, start heading across. Long ways to go, but yeah, should be a lot easier going now. Up here, it's still tough terrain, but nowhere near as tough as down there. I got up here in lightning speed. So I've got my energy back. That was really tough. But yeah, so you see the route from here is basically across this and then onto the ridge line. So I think the path's quite indistinct, certainly for a start. But we should get a little bit more defined as we get closer to the main peak on the ridge line. It's all the I can't get this right. Pumlumon. It's all the Pumlumon, this area, if that's correct. So they're all the names that are related to that. We've all got different things after them. There's Pumlumon Fawr, which obviously means big, which is the tallest one of the group, and the tallest one in mid Wales, and that's the Cambrian Mountains, which obviously all of Wales, the mountains of this chain is all the Cambrian Mountains, but excluding the Brythoniog and Eryri, this is the highest point that we're going up to today. So yeah, so just approaching the first high point on this ridge before heading off onto the higher peaks, and there's no name on the OS maps for it, but I'm sure it had one on the other maps which I'd look at, so I'll check that one out and see if I can find it. And here we are, finally at the summit. Pretty featureless, as are most of these peaks, but the summit is everything at this point. And so it's true. Oh wow, I did not expect that. Just over the other side there. Oh, amazing. So then, summit number one on this walk. Yeah, stunning. So my route now takes me over that stile and then turn right along the fence, and it follows me all the way to the top of that one, which is the next point before the high peaks are well within my grasp. We're definitely going to have a bit of a stop here because I'm knackered. Yeah, then leaving the first summit, and we're quite close to the source of the River Severn here, so I think if you carried on following this path straight you would pick up the Severn Way. But, we're going to head that way along the fence, which I'm being very vague today, I'm sorry, is sort of south. So yeah, we're going to go along the fence line. I think we go this side of the fence as well. So we'll see when we get here where the path is. Oh, it's lovely and cool up here. just generally happy to be on a path as well. Another one of those stones along here. It was on the summit of the last one. Didn't expect to see them, so I don't know what they are. Research before you come. I tend to do it afterwards. Anyway, I think the route to the top of this one's pretty clear. There's some gorgeous lakes up here, and the weather, well, the weather's amazing. It's been all morning, all afternoon, sorry. Time's it now around, I think it's around 5 o'clock now. So yeah, 4 hours left of daylight. I haven't done a vast amount to the camera, because it's basically, I've just been following this fence over moorland, and yeah, there's not been really, I mean, there's beautiful views, but nothing really of interest. But I think we're nearing the second summit on this walk. I hope we are anyway, because that's where I'm planning to have my dinner. But yeah, just a short hill to go by the looks of it. And I'll just spin you around just to show the view behind me, or behind you. And you can see down at the lake there is the first, or where the first cairn was. I don't know if you'd call it a summit maybe. Yeah. That was my first point of interest, and there's down to the lake there, and they've basically just been following this fence line. So yeah, navigation would have got a whole lot easier from this point. Obviously this is part of the Cambrian Way, and also I think the Dragon's back, so that would help if you were rushing your way up here. But yeah, so not much further to go to the top of this one. I think this one is just over 700 metres, so yeah, a little bit higher than the last one. Still going. Okay, we've got views over towards sort of eastern direction, over the forestry areas, and we're just going to touch the top of one, and that up there is the summit of this mountain, which I'm going to have a go at. Drum roll. Pen Plumlumon Fawr. So yeah, hopefully that's somewhere near. I'm trying, guys, I really am. But yeah, what a stunning area. It's an area you just come and quite easily just get lost in a good way. I don't mean lose where you are. That would be bad. There we go. Right, so of the three cairns up here, this one I think is the highest, although that does look higher on the map. This is the summit. So Pen Plumlumon Fawr, somewhere near maybe. Yeah, difficult for me. Right, so in a minute I'll show you some of the views from up here. It's much the same what we've been seeing, but there's a nice view across now to the final two peaks on this route. So it's about 5:30. I've got a watch on. So it's about 5:30. So yeah, the sun should start going down soon, which it's already getting a little bit lower. So the haze is sort of burning off a little bit. But yeah, I'll go back to eat, and then I'll come back and we'll show you the views. So there's another cairn back there, and then a smaller one beyond. And the views now to sort of the east and south have opened up. It's a vast expanse of just green hills and forest. It's an absolutely stunning area, and I'm the only one up here at the moment. I'm expecting to see at least one other person on Pumlumon Fawr, which I think there's a couple up there already. So from here it's a bit of a descent, and it looks like we're going to go back up another gradual ridge and out onto the penultimate summit before the main one in the area, the final one. As you can see, the sun just starting to lower. We haven't any views out to the sort of sea yet. It's quite hazy over that way, it's difficult to tell what peaks are what. I know you can see Llygad Idris. Right, time to leave this one and head over to the next one, which is yeah, it's quite a distance, but looks easy enough. There's this exposed sort of rocky area. You could quite easily be on Tady. Just randomly on the hillside here. Anyway, we're down between the two peaks. It'll soon be time to start ascending. Okay, so the next summit is up there. I think there was a Land Rover track a bit further inland or away from the fence maybe. I went straight to the summit. I'm just going to follow this and then branch off. And that is, here we go again, Pen Plumlumon Llygad-Bychan. That was a little bit more difficult to say than the last one, I think. The main word is the one I'm probably getting wrong, the Pumlumon, because I've seen it spelt two different ways. I've heard it pronounced thousands of ways. So yeah, doing my best. But we're going to go to the top anyway. We go through the gate, take a right, and follow the fence line up to the summit of our penultimate peak. For the short trip over to the main summit. Well, if you've done the route the way around I have, it turns out it's best not to go through the gate, otherwise you're going to have to high step it over this fence. Fortunately, pretty tall. And here we are, summit number 3. A bit more of a interesting cairn than the last couple, and over there is the final summit and the tallest one of all of them, and that's Pumlumon Fawr. And it's looking a ways from here, but it shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, time for a rest, then I'm going to crack on. Okay, so leaving the summit then, short break there, we're going to get up to that one and then enjoy the view, because we now see out over the sea, and that's only going to get clearer as the sun goes down. Fantastic stuff. Away we go. The lighting over to the east is getting a lot better now, and we're on the final, I say the final leg is getting down, but yeah, we're on the final leg to the final peak. Looks like I've got a row of cairns leading me to the summit. Absolutely stunning now. The lighting is just incredible. There's always going to be one more steep pull, isn't there? Always is. So some of the smaller lakes up here are just totally dried up. The cairn up here, not really sure what this one is. We'll go up anyway, just in case we don't want to miss anything out. There we go, just in case. It's one of those things. I see the summit straight ahead. I think that ridge over there is going to be my route down, because there's something which I'm pretty sure you can't see from anywhere on this hike unless you're virtually at it, and I'll save that for last. So we've swapped out your Garn, which is something I can do from another walk another time. We've swapped it out, and I think after I've headed up this, I'm going to head down that ridge and then down into the coombe, because yeah, something special lies down there. Hey, well, steep but short, and there's the top. Now, of all the summits that I've been on today, it's the first one that actually feels like a mountain, and I'll spin you around in a minute and just show you what I'm looking at. But that was an achievement. That wasn't easy. I mean, there are easier ways to do this peak, but certainly that route I did there was pretty tough. Yeah, I'll spin you around that way. We can have a look at the view and why I made such an effort to get up here. I think that should pick it up. Here in the reservoir I walked along earlier. And just absolutely stunning views out to the coast now as well. Gonna get some photos of that. Yeah, let's have a bit of a look around the summit, because there's a lot going on up here, rather than just the grassy sort of summits that we have been on. First of all, check out this style. That's what I came over to get to the top. It's huge. Yeah. First thing you see when you come over there is obviously the cairn and the shelter there, and then the trig point. And then you don't really look to your left because you focus on the summit, and then we look over there and just, oh my god, oh absolutely, oh yeah, the words fail me. I can't think of any more different ones. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. I think I might sit up here for a bit, see out the coast. I'm not sure what the mountains are I'm looking at. It's quite hazy over there. It's hard to pick out individual peaks. I know you can see Llygad Rheidol from here quite clearly, but it's not that clear out there. I know which one I think it is. That doesn't mean it is that one. You've got quite an old looking trig point. So it's my first time in this part of Wales altogether, really. Never been on holiday over here, never climbed anything over here. So yeah, you usually have to start with the tallest one. And my car is somewhere down behind that mound. In fact, you can just about make out the dam. Whether the camera will pick it up, it's quite hazy down there, but beautiful. However nice this is, I'm not going to stay up here for sunset, just because there's something to see down there which we need a little bit of light for. So I'm going to stay here for a while till the sun gets quite low, then we head down to the coombe. Come over to the big cairn on the other end of the summit ridge, slightly lower than the main summit. Okay, so we're going to head down this ridge, which is a sort of northwest direction. Drop into the cairn, show you the views down there. Yeah, it was a toss up between that and then hanging around for a sunset. But definitely want to see all areas of this mountain because it's more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. Okay, so that would have been my direct route home if I'd waited for the sun to set, but I'm going to go up this way and head round into the coombe. Incidentally, that is one hell of a speedy way down. So yeah, if you're just coming to do the one peak, yeah, definitely worth coming up this way, but it's just below here, drop onto a Land Rover track. So it's yeah, really easy going by the looks of things, and this is a really good path. Was it worth rushing down for? I think so. So yeah, that was a really quick descent. It's a really steep track down from the summit, so summit to here it's probably taken about 15 minutes. Obviously it'd be a lot higher, sorry, a lot more time ascending that way. It was very steep, but wow, look at this. Just throws a whole new sort of feel to the place. Up there is sort of grassy lumps. Here you could well be in any of the sort of higher peaks of Snowdonia. Absolutely gorgeous, and I'm glad I've got down here while the sun's still shining on it. Definitely worth descending. I think I've seen quite a few sunsets, and yeah, sunset's a sunset, but wow. Summary of today, really horrendous but beautiful sort of start. After going off the road, of course, that was really easy going. There was a good few miles which I wasn't expecting as such, through sort of pathless, or I mean there might have been paths there but they weren't obvious. It took quite a long time to get to the other end of the ridge, but once popping up on the ridge, it's been plain sailing in. I think I have to agree, what a beautiful area. And like I say, 2 people I've seen the entire time I've been here. Yeah, so definitely worth trying out a few new areas now and again. I think the national park status of the other 2 areas here has that draw of it, whereas these are pretty much unknown as far as, I mean, I've mentioned these to a few people. There's a lot of people who go hiking regularly and they've never heard of them, so as I hadn't until maybe sort of last summer when I was researching the area. But yeah, so the moorland up there doesn't just show you, this is why I wanted to come down to the coombe. The moorland up there doesn't show you just how much of a mountain this is. Then one last look around, then I'm going to pick up the Land Rover track, which you can see goes around the side of the hill and back to the lake. We're going to end the video here in terms of like talking and that, which I bet you're pretty relieved about by this point. And yeah, I'll put some music on and a bit of video from the walk back and some photos from the day, which has been, it's been a real tough day, but I've suddenly got loads of energy, which I can't work out really. Maybe it's because it's cooler, maybe this is a beautiful setting, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to crack on back to the car and I'm going to go and get myself some food, so I'm pretty starving now. Right, let's crack on, get out of here. Incidentally, I forgot to do my thank you, so thanks again for watching. If you made it this far into yet another one of my videos, yeah, really grateful. Yeah, the kind comments I get on some of them really keep me sort of making them. I mean, I would definitely still go out hiking, but you know, the extra effort to bring the cameras along and the footage, and all right, my research isn't the best, but yeah, I try and give as much information as possible, particularly areas that I know a bit more about. Right, here we go. See you next time.